Nail or beauty school was just the beginning, right? What on earth do you do now? Welcome to the Salon Success Podcast with Monaco Nail Academy. Our topics stretch beyond nails and into all things salon related, business, marketing, and social media, and at the very least hits you with real, honest stories about our experiences. This isn't school, this is real life, real business, and really freaking hard work. The Salon Success Podcast is recorded live on Mondays at 4 p.m. New Zealand time via facebook.com/Monaco Nail Academy and available everywhere good podcasts are found. Before we get started, wherever you are, thumbs up, tag a friend in the comments, or hit that share button and support small business. Hey guys, it's Penny here from Monaco Nail Academy, and today for the Salon Success Podcast, I'm with Steph.
Hi guys.
Steph, how are you? How's your day been?
It's been warm today.
It's really hot.
We had lots of orders to pack from over the weekend, and we got a big top-up order from our supplier as well. So it's been pretty unpacking today. Yeah, and quite warm.
Very warm. You've had a very hectic day. But I think same.
It's good to be busy though. I've enjoyed the day.
It's good to be busy, but I like a nice organized day. Yeah. And I just got back from a weekend away this morning and then had to head into a day. So
yeah, schedule all
tomorrow will be better. What was the highlight of your week last week?
Man, there's been so much going on, I feel like, in the past 7 days. We got the relief products. That was really fun.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys have seen yet, but Famous Names have launched a new luxury pedicure line for the salon. We have a few products in at the moment, and we had our first kind of look and talk through all the products together. Fingers crossed we get the rest of the range soon. But yeah,
should be within the next 10 days, I think, right?
I hope so. Yeah.
I have heaps of things I wrote a list because
lists are great.
I'm a nerd. And because I prepped for podcasts last week, and then we realized that we had timed it for the same time as the COVID announcement, so we didn't do it last week. So I have a few things.
Yeah.
But so the week before, we did our marketing planning day.
Yeah.
And it was so fun.
It was the best.
So fun.
Yeah.
We just took a whole day off. Not off, because we worked all day.
Off from normal stuff.
Yeah, off from normal stuff. No clients, no normal admin. And we created our entire editorial calendar for the coming, it's recurring, but I'd say it'll do us for at least 4 to 6 months before we have to zhuzh it. And it's pretty easy to zhuzh.
It's a great foundation, I think. And then we can start changing or adding things as we want to as well.
Yeah, and I highly encourage you guys to do the same thing and plan out all of your content and stuff for your social media as well. I'm going to actually talk about that a bit later in the podcast, but yeah. And also we just had last weekend our scavenger hunt sale, which was the highlight of the year. That was so fun.
Yeah.
We had pretty reasonable expectations for it because we're just coming out of lockdown and it's just been such a tricky year for everybody, and you guys blew us out of the water. It was so fun and so busy, and I learned a lesson that next time we do that, I need to not have clients during that hour of sales because and Mel is saying hi in the comments.
Hey, Mel.
Hi Mel. If you are watching live, chuck a hello in the comments. We love to see who we're chatting to or who's watching live. What else do we got matching tattoos since the last podcast.
We sure
that's
did.
another thing. And I had my trip to Napier that I just talked about, which I got to cuddle my niece. My sister's watching Hajas, which means that I think she's 9 weeks old today. My niece, she'll be sleeping next to us virtually. And we had a full YouTube day as well. So the one Wednesday we had our big marketing planning day, and then the following Wednesday we had a big YouTube day because some of you might be watching this on our YouTube channel, but we have a YouTube channel, and I do the best I can to keep it consistent, but because I have so many freaking jobs, that's not always easy. So we had a filming day and I taught Steph how to edit, and we got a new video up, and I'm filming some more stuff on Wednesday, and so that was another highlight. I'd love to hear what you guys have been up to over the last wee while, and tell us your highlights as well. And then my only other thing on the list was that You Choose Tuesday is back. Do you want to tell us about You Choose Tuesday? Because I feel like I've been talking for 7 years.
So You Choose Tuesday, I think, was an old tradition that, not old, but it was a few years ago that it was really big for Monaco. Every Tuesday morning, we post 2 pictures side by side, and they might be inspiration pictures or it might be actual nail art on someone's hands. And you guys get to vote and choose what Penny will recreate for you in the evenings live. So you have the day to vote and choose between, and get all your friends in on the voting as well. It was very contentious last time. It was neck and neck all the way.
Yeah. And in the end, I won. It won't just be me. The mentors will be taking turns soon as well, but the first couple have been me.
Yeah.
So something that we like to do around here at Monaco is one-ups, and a one-up takes the idea of constant improvement and makes it bite-sized, because clients are impressed by a salon that they can see constant improvement in, and that is daunting. But a one-up is doing one small thing every fortnight so that improvement is consistent but achievable. And we've done quite a few one-ups in the last 2 weeks since we've talked to you. So, Steph, what one-ups what have we done?
My biggest one was I rearranged all of the shelves in the salon. And so might be looking a little bit bare. I've still got some of the product to put back up, but putting all the gel polishes together so that it was kind of the same height, I think it looks a lot more pleasing to the eye, a lot more tidy.
Yeah.
And everything got to wipe down at the same time as well, which is really important.
So satisfying. And yeah, because when I first set up this room, I put all of the gel polish, traditional polish, and dip colors that of all the same color all together. But like some have gone discontinued, and then there's some new. Like it just needed a wee zhuzh. It needed a zhuzh. We also, in the last 2 weeks, we told you last time that this was happening, but now the windows in our salon open, which is the best thing that's ever happened. So the cabin that we work from had fixed windows, because when I bought the cabin, it was stupid expensive to get opening windows. And there's a big double French door. I was like, I don't need opening windows. Turns out you do. So anyone ever buying a cabin, get opening windows. Actually, do you get it? They were really expensive though, and they're cheaper to get our builder to chop the windows off and put hinges on them. And they look
a handy friend or partner or that can do it for you.
They look good. They look like they were always supposed to be like that. Like they don't really they don't look like they were fixed. And we got a brand new sign on the top of our cabin.
That's so cool.
All go. That sign I ordered like 2 months ago, so it didn't really intend to be all happening today. I mean this week, but yeah, we've got a sign up on the top of the roof of our cabin because we have a flag and we have a sign that faces the road, but we're on like a busy main road, and unless you're at the cafe across the road from us, you can't really see the sign, just the flag, and the flag's not out 24/7. So our new sign faces more towards the rest of the shops so that people can see where we are. Melina says opening windows is exciting, and she's right. It's so freaking exciting. I'm like, we're sitting in kind of a sauna right now because we do like close all the windows and doors to try and make the sound as good as possible for you guys when we're recording the podcast. But we do have one of the windows cracked next to us, and it's just, even the little breeze from that is so good. It's the best. And like the only other thing that I had on my list of one-ups is kind of a weird one, because so basically the cabin is in the front yard of my house, and my house is being renovated. So the front yard has safety fencing and it's really ugly, and whatever, the house will be cute one day. But my view from my desk was through safety fencing, and because now the builders have like paused for the Christmas holidays and they won't be back until mid-January, I got them to move the safety fencing so that the corners cut off and I can see out to the road and the people and stuff. And okay, it's mostly a benefit for me, but also though it is quite nice because people walking across the footpath can see directly to us and not through safety fencing. Melissa said, my one-up is giving each client a wee bag of spearmint leaves with my social details and logo on it to go with my jungle nails. Cute idea.
Cool idea.
Also, I love those lollies.
Very on brand.
So little leaf-shaped lollies to go with jungle. What's your salon name, Mel? Jungle Nails?
Yeah.
Just Jungle Nails?
I think so.
Yeah, that's such a good idea. I love that. So if you are watching live, please do tell us in the comments your most recent one-up, because we really like to share ideas. And I think the idea of Mel finding a one-up that matches her brand, so good. We used to put the eclair lollies in parcels because they were gold and our branding is gold. But that's not as good as finding leaves for a jungle themed salon. That's so much better. Before we continue on with the podcast, we just want to take a quick ad break to talk about our marketing course, because as we move into the new traffic light system in New Zealand and also into the new year in general, now is the perfect time to get your head down and really smash your business goals. Our Salon Success Business and Marketing course is the perfect tool to guide you through this, with over 100 bite-sized lessons available, each with a task that directs you exactly how to execute the skills you're learning as you go. The amount of info in the course could be super overwhelming, but this course guides you step by step towards being fully booked, and you can check it out at monaco.ac.nz/course/marketing. And now, obviously, the whole point of this podcast is to share and communicate information that helps everyone have a successful salon. And one of the ways that we do that here at Monaco Nail Academy is through that Salon Success Business and Marketing course. Now, Steph joined our team after that course launched. So Steph's actually working her way through it from a student perspective and applying what she learns to our salon as well as Monaco each week. So Steph, where are you at with your coursework?
Well, I have just started last week, and the very first learning task is to set a mission for your business. And so setting a mission for both Monaco Nail Academy and Hard Lacquer, they're two very different businesses, both in the nail beauty industry. So thinking about because I'm doing the course from both perspectives, I was just looking for what's one goal for each business that would make a big difference, but it's actually executable. It's not out of reach. So for Monaco, we're looking at increasing our student enrollment by 20% versus the year previous.
So you decided, because we talked about this as well, and you've decided to do enrollment numbers or enrollment revenue? Like, how are you measuring it?
That's a great question. And the answer to that is still to be decided, because I do need to look at the numbers to actually see where we're sitting with what we're currently at. What that looks like broken down either by individual enrollment or on average. And we are potentially looking at a slight structure change soon. So that might influence the way that the goal is built. You know, we still want it to be measurable and achievable by the deadline. So that's something to consider as well. And then for Hard Lacquer, right now we're coming up to summer and it's super duper busy, and we want to be making lots of money because we've got a house to renovate and bills to pay. But going forward from there, once Penny's house is finished, she's actually looking to reduce her hours for clients. So I think a really cool goal for Penny's business is to have 20 hours a week of recurrent local clients, because that's your goal, is to kind of only be working about 20 hours a week so you can have balance and do the other things that you love and enjoy. And we do kind of already have that at the moment, but really to kind of calculate it out and measure it out in 6 months' time, is it achievable for you to still be seeing that 20 hours a week of regulars?
How are we going to measure that? Like, because this town is not a rebooking town. They just don't. It's interesting because I often guide students to requesting rebookings
Yeah.
from their clients. And to be honest, if I desperately wanted people to rebook on the spot and have that guaranteed income coming in 2 weeks, I could. Like, I have the skills to talk to people about why it's important to rebook and to discuss it with them and to have them pencil in a booking and then, that sort of thing. But here they like to book really last minute, and actually I freaking love it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if our booking system has a report that shows the number of people returning.
Yeah, because obviously you can see how many appointments per client that they have been, what they're booked in the future as well. So fingers crossed there's some sort of report that will make my life easy.
So what I'm hearing is that next week you will have a solid mission statement to share with us.
Yeah, I think so.
Fun. And so you guys, of course, like I said before, can enroll in the same course that Steph is doing by heading to monaco.ac.nz/course/marketing. And then you can follow along and work alongside her because actually we got quite a few enrollments into the marketing course during our scavenger hunt sale a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that's going to be really fun. If you're one of the guys that has enrolled at the same time, basically as Steph, I think that's really fun to work alongside with people, especially when you are working from home or by correspondence or however you structure your learning.
Yeah,
it's really fun to add in working with someone else.
Definitely.
A little bit at least. So for now though, let's give you a taster by chatting about a topic that we cover in the Salon Success course. And what I've decided to do is go over, I don't want to just give you the beginning of the course and take you through step by step. Steph is going to continue updating us every week on her progress, and you'll get to learn from her experiences. But also see what the course is like as she works her way through it.
Yeah.
But one of the things that is quite a way through the course, but tied in really nicely with what we did the other day with our marketing plan, is batching. So once you have a plan, like what we made the other day, the marketing plan, where we have a schedule, we have what we call an editorial calendar, where we know what we're creating, where we're posting it, roughly what time we're posting it, all that. We have a big ass plan. Once you have a plan, you batch. And so batching is the meal prep of the marketing world, prepping in advance to make your life easier. Batching is the idea of doing lots of similar tasks at the same time as each other in order to streamline your productivity and save time overall, which is an interesting concept, I think, as well, because you having just recently gone full-time with Monaco, and me trying to get you to do all the emails at one time of the day and things like that, that's essentially batching. That's essentially batching. So this is what is going to help a lot of you who say to us that you put off doing social media, you put it in the too hard basket, you leave it till later until it's too late, that sort of thing. We hear all of those reasons. You can't now because you're going to do batching. So say, for example, if every Tuesday there's a big truck just driving past, if every Tuesday at 6 o'clock your plan says that you're going to post an FAQ, you don't make it on Tuesday. You don't post it at 5:55 p.m. on Tuesday, and you don't even schedule it on Tuesday morning. What you do, or what I would recommend that you do, is that you make 12 FAQs. You make them all now, and then you schedule them for every Tuesday at 6 p.m. And then you sit back and you relax. After you feed the dog and help the kids and fold the washing and do all of those things. My friend has a washing monster that she calls Sally because the washing is never actually entirely gone. But then after all that, you sit back and relax.
Sure.
I started my business and said, as you reminded me, that I was gonna have time to read and sew and bake, and now I'm garden, and I'm just starting to do those things now 14 years later, so but good luck. But when you do one post, the time to make and post that piece of content is probably 20 to 30 minutes genuinely, because Steph spends a lot of time creating graphics, but the idea being that she's creating,
I've made it once and it's done. It's a template.
It's a template, yeah. So it's about 20 to 30 minutes to make one really good solid piece of content. But the time to make and post 12 pieces of content is not 12 times 20 to 30. Or that would be like 6 hours total. It's not going to take you 6 hours to make 12 FAQs. It's going to take you half an hour to make the first one, probably more like 2 hours total to make 12 in one go, right? Like, because you just need the ideas and then the template and then the zhuzh.
You repeat and just do your thing.
You get into a flow as you're working, and you're going to save massive amounts of time because of that flow. And that technique will greatly increase the number of quality pieces of content that you can produce in a month, especially because I think like Steph is much better at graphic design than I am, and much better at graphic design than I am. And so I know though that if I said to Steph, can you please post something in 10 minutes? That post is going to be shared. Like it's not going, well, it might be.
There's a good evidence of that recently. If you guys can guess one of our recent page posts.
But if I say to her, can you put something at 6 o'clock every Tuesday, that content's going to be much, much better. So the thing is though, at first, you will not be able to get all your content created and scheduled in one day. But that is the goal. Booking out one 8-hour day once a month to smash out all of your marketing content. And then you move into maintenance mode, which is like replying to comments and that sort of thing for the rest of the month. And so Steph had one of these days last week.
Yes.
And I'm going to basically answer this question for you in a second, but how did that go, Steph?
Well, I was excited to do it for sure. This is definitely such a learning experience for me. All of this stuff, so new. And on the day, I just was having one of those low energy days, and it just didn't quite go to plan.
I'm really good at low energy days.
Yeah, I still got some stuff done. Like I didn't get nothing done, which is cool. But I'm gonna try again this week.
Well, I think you've got like a half day. Is it a whole half day, or is it like 2 hours a week or something?
I think it's a decent chunk every week, so I can slowly chip away at the templates, chip away at building the content up, and I will eventually get ahead.
Yes. Well, I mean, so what I was going to say as well, though, is that it's not physically possible to produce, for example, 90 pieces of quality content in one day. But it is possible to produce a third of that. So 12 variations, so 12 weeks worth of 3 kinds of content. And then those 12 variations, for example, those 12 FAQs, that lasts you 3 months.
Amazing.
It's 12 weeks worth of weekly FAQ posts. And so say in your first 8-hour day, or maybe in your second 8-hour day that you do it, say you do 12 FAQs, 12 photos of your work, and 12 behind the scenes photos, which you can style and stage, or you can collect them throughout the month and just not post them until batching day. But when you have those three sets of content happening, next month, when you have an 8-hour scheduling day again, you already have those 3 pieces of content scheduled ahead. They haven't run out yet. So if you create then 3 new sets of content, so maybe it's 12 product photos and 12 photos of your study setup, because we do highly recommend that you share your study journey, and maybe 12 poll questions where people vote between 2 colors that you have in your collection. Now you've got 6 pieces of content for month 2, the 3 new ones and the 3 that you already had that hadn't run out yet. At the beginning of month 3, you'll repeat, and now you'll be up to 9 pieces of content scheduled every week. The content you created in month 1 will run out at the end of month 3, but you will replace it with the content you make at the start of month 4. And I'm not sure if that sentence is really confusing, but hopefully it makes sense. It begins a perfect cycle where you always have fresh new content, but you also always have time.
Amazing.
And as you build up a stash, you've seen my content folder of all of the evergreen stuff I've ever made is saved and like available for Steph to use if she needs to. And Jess, who does our scheduling on our Instagram and most of our Facebook stuff as well. But when you build up a stash of what is called evergreen content, stuff that can be reused, it all becomes even quicker again, because you don't ever have to make FAQs again. You just have to switch them out occasionally and then reuse them. So maybe in month 6, one of your 3 pieces of content is those old FAQs. And instead of the 2 hours it took you to create and schedule them last time, it takes you 20 minutes to schedule them, and then you move on. And perhaps that means that you have time that month to create some more time-consuming content, like the YouTube videos that we're working on and stuff like that.
Yeah, amazing.
Because the thing as well, videos are a very powerful marketing tool, but they are also the most time-consuming thing to create.
Yeah.
So I was like, when I was creating the marketing course, I was trying to follow a schedule of filming 2 YouTube videos and 6 marketing videos every Tuesday. But when we first started the YouTube channel, like maybe 7 years ago, my friend Rachel and I would go into work on a Sunday, take heaps of changes of clothes with us, start the day with our hair down, and work our way through hairstyles that like created kinks until we'd end up like braided at the end, because that's the worst one to try and recover from. And we would just film over and over and over again, trying to make it look like each video was on a different day. And our record for filming on one day was 26 videos in one day. And they weren't shit either.
That's
like
amazing.
Now knowing how much effort we put into videos, I'm like, I don't even know how we did that, but they weren't bad. They were actually like good quality. It was because Rachel and I worked as a really good team, and you and I do too, but we're a new team.
Yeah, we're learning.
But like Rachel would have all of my stuff ready to literally slide in front of me, and I'd start filming the next one straight away. And we'd have like models organized. Like there was a lot of pre-prep that went into that. The editing for videos takes a lot of time, as you learned last week. Because Steph was like, oh, so do you think we'll run ahead with the like 3 hours that you've got blocked out to teach me how to edit? And I was like, no, it takes me 2.5 hours on my own to film like a 12-minute video. And I think after those 3 hours were up, it still took you maybe like another 2 hours, although some of that was templating. Like a simple time lapse can be edited much, much faster. Like there are other kinds of videos that you guys could do for your salons that are way easier, or you sometimes don't even need to edit them at all. Like with this podcast video that goes up on YouTube, Steph will download it, put title cards, chop off the bit at the start where we don't know if we're live or not, and then the bit at the end where we don't know if we're live or not. And that'll take like 15 minutes, maybe half an hour, like but not 3 hours. This is the point, not 3 hours. You can hire someone to help you out, but only if you have that sort of marketing budget. And marketing budget is something we talk about a lot in the marketing course, and how to work out what your budget is and how much to allocate to every sort of thing. But I have used someone previously to help me edit, and they charged $45 an hour to edit. But then I made a batching deal with her, funnily enough, to do 8 videos for $800, and she was happy to do that for quite a while. But then when she actually went back to uni, and then I was like, well, what a time to save some money, and I started doing it all myself again. But hiring someone's still an option. Live streaming is also a really good option, which of course you can't record it in advance, but you can plan it all out and plan out the topics, plan the times that you'll stream, and then when the stream is done, you don't have any editing to do. So that's another way of getting really good video content. I mentioned earlier that one of the sets of content that you created could be 12 pieces of content of your study setup. You can batch that photo taking, like I alluded to before, that you can stage and style stuff like that. During the month, absolutely take photos of your setup or of behind the scenes stuff. Save them up. Like absolutely take genuine photos. If they are time specific, you might need to post them immediately. That's okay. Do that. It's totally okay to post random content that wasn't in your plan if it is time dependent and has really good energy. So, like if for example, you drop a box of tips, which I may or may not have done, then everyone can relate to how awful that is. And I suppose that's not a good example of time-dependent content unless there's like a Christmas tree in the background. But you can post that sort of stuff. People will always relate to something that was posted with the energy that it was taken with. And it's just some weird woo-woo witchcraft where people just know when you're excited about something. But if the behind-the-scenes moment is an evergreen moment, take the photo in the moment and then save it until batching day. Even though it's a weird process to get used to, just saving content and waiting until batching day is what will lead to consistency. And I love consistency. I think it's pretty much how you run a business is entirely based on consistency. If on batching day you find that you have 5 photos of study and you need 12, that's when you can batch content creation. So you grab your laptop and a notepad, some pens, plants, coffee mugs, props basically. And first we go for the laptop on the dining table with the pink pen, the blue mug, and the fern. Then we pour the coffee into the green mug and we go for the outdoor table with the pen holder full of pens, the vase of flowers from inside, and we turn the page on the notebook. Then quickly you mess up the bed and you style the side table with coffee and a new mug again, and you put the laptop in there, and now we have a post about the benefits of studying online and being cozy. Then you find your cat and you sit up next to him, and now you have a post about having a study buddy. If you need to schedule a photo that shows rain, though, for example, don't caption the post, "I love the rain today," which first of all will be a really boring caption anyway, but it might not be raining when that goes up. So you need to think about evergreen captions as well. So instead you would say something like, "Are you a summer or a winter person? I love the heat, but I concentrate so much better when it's raining." If you pretend that it is raining and you hear that, or you would be reading that caption, that "Are you a summer or a winter person? I love the heat, but I concentrate so much better when it's raining." If you pretend it's raining right now, it works. Now, if you pretend it's sunny right now, wherever it is that you're listening to this, that caption works. It works for both. And so that's what you would call an evergreen caption. So all of your captions when you are batching need to be evergreen. So are all of your captions evergreen that you have pre-scheduled, Steph?
Probably not.
Might be some like frantic clicking to be like, crap, double check them all. But so, for example, you wouldn't be saying in your study posts, "Today I learned about natural nail prep." You would be pairing your study photo with a caption that might say something more like, "Did you know that nail techs should never use files on the natural nail? It used to be necessary back in the day, but these days technology is so advanced that great adhesion is possible without resorting to damage. I'm so excited to be continuously upskilling and bringing you all safe and hygienic services." That becomes educational, interesting, and it's evergreen. It doesn't matter when that goes up. And you can post it again next year. Like, that's completely evergreen. On the flip side of evergreen captions, there will be occasions that you want to schedule content around an event. So when you make a marketing plan, you already take into account things like holidays and events. And that's what Steph and I did first. We had a big sheet of paper and we brainstormed all of the events that we could think of. So just keep them in mind when you are scheduling as well. Make mention of public holidays, big public events like Christmas in the park, or like color run, those the fun runs with the color bombs, things like Mother's Day, stuff like that. Just keep all of that in mind as you're scheduling, but then also keep in mind things like Anzac Day, or if you're not in New Zealand, War Memorial holidays and other sensitive events like that, and just make sure that you are also scheduling content and captions that are appropriate to those dates too, or maybe you skip that day. If anything big happens, for example, a public figure passes away unexpectedly, or there's a natural disaster, or there's something awful happens, just also immediately check that your scheduled content for the following 72 hours is appropriate to the events that are happening. And generally you can reschedule it, because if you've been pro at making evergreen content,
Yeah.
you're just going to reschedule it for when it is more appropriate to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you are going to post it all around those times, make it sensitive and compassionate and relevant. The last thing you want is a post about how blessed you are when something horrific has happened a couple of hours earlier. It honestly isn't often an issue. Like, lots of big things have happened in the time that I have been batching, and it doesn't happen often enough that it is a big deal. Don't let it deter you from scheduling. I think like maybe once or twice a year, I just jump on quickly and delete the posts or reschedule the posts that are happening later. But sometimes as well, though, bear in mind that your scheduled content just won't hit the mark. You might find that your Tuesday FAQ is tanking compared to your Sunday behind the scenes. So don't move or reschedule in those events when big things happen. But I mean, in general, with your plan, don't change the posts that do well. But you can try rescheduling poor performing stuff. Try a different day, try a different time. It doesn't mean the content is bad necessarily. It could be that the wrong audience is looking at that day and time. It could also be the wrong platform. So very different stuff succeeds on Facebook versus Instagram versus TikTok versus everywhere. So you might try and move that content to a different platform. And finally, some content just isn't going to do as well, but it is still important. Because, for example, a photo of my dog or a meme or a set of stiletto nails will always perform well. Those are 3 guaranteed pieces of good content that will get heaps of engagement. And my dog doesn't have to be doing anything related to nails. If I put a photo of my dog on my nails page, I will get quintuple engagement to normal. But that doesn't mean that an FAQ post isn't good or useful. It means that they are more suited to a really warm audience, which is also something that we talk about in depth in the marketing course and how to work around that. A warm audience is a small group of your followers, and it will still benefit them, but it doesn't mean that it has to get the same level of engagement that your dog does.
Yeah,
it's still good. It just wasn't like cute. If something never works, like you've tried every channel and every day and every time, or like, you know, maybe not every, because let's not flog a dead horse, but like, just don't reuse it. And don't delete it from your computer entirely either, though, because I have reused retired evergreen content years later on platforms that didn't even exist when I made it, and then it does super well. And I'm like, shit, I just needed something to post on a Friday, but holy crap, I'm going to schedule those all in now. So, yeah, like that. I just think that everything can be used again and again and again, basically. So I would love you guys that are listening to schedule in a batching day, because I just think, and Steph's got hers scheduled in. You guys can do it all together. And maybe you can, you've got some scheduling time this week, right? Yeah. So maybe next week you can report back on how your batching went. If you guys, while you're listening as well, do us a favor, please, and hit the like button if you're enjoying this video, because it means that we can get content like this out to more people. So, Steph, moving on from batching for a bit. Yeah. Tell me what else you experienced in the salon this week. Do you have any fun stories to share?
Oh, we have a few. So, one of the, I think, more fun ones to start with, me and Penny actually had the pleasure of doing clients at the same time. That was really fun. But the clients knew each other reasonably well.
But they didn't come together.
Yeah. So it wasn't like a joint appointment or anything like that. They just happened to know each other. And I guess sometimes when that happens, maybe they'll say hi and how are you, and that's it. But in this particular instance, they had a very long chat. And I thought it was quite good for me, because it meant I didn't have to worry too much about keeping the client entertained or, you know, making them feel like the time was passing fast. And I could just concentrate on what I was doing.
That's exactly my favorite part about it. That I can just get on and do my work.
Yeah.
And the appointment's faster. Like, I always finish ahead. Yeah. I've had to practice over the years at not stopping while I talk. Like, so I'm fairly good at continuing to work while I'm talking, but I still find it goes faster.
Yeah.
And it's like a break. I can do nails in my sleep.
Because that's the fun part, right? Is actually doing the nails. The people.
Yeah. We have such nice clients, but it's
awesome.
just such intense people energy. If you're doing like 12 people in one day, it's just so much human. And so if people know each other, it's so nice. Yeah. So nice. A little bit trickier now, because if you're listening to this at the moment in New Zealand, some places are in stricter COVID levels than others. Like, so we are in orange light, and that means that we sit far enough apart that we can see clients at the same time as each other. And I know that's not possible for everybody, but so fun. Did you know because I used to rebook everybody when I was in Auckland, I rebooked everybody, and most people would rebook infinity. So there'd be every second Friday at 4 or whatever, forever. And 2 of my clients became best friends only because they were booked next to each other.
That is so fun.
There was a group chat called Friday Crew for a while, and it was just all of the clients that were booked on a specific fortnightly rotation of Fridays. And then SJ was talking about how she was going to be going to Hawaii soon, but she was just going to go by herself because she just needed a break and everyone was busy. And then Kat was like, I'm not busy. And SJ was like, come to Hawaii. So they did.
That's amazing.
And then they became best friends because they took this holiday together, and that was like 6 years ago. So fun. And often on Fridays, someone would turn up with pizza and just share it with everybody.
Amazing.
It was so fun. And and then I stopped doing nails on Fridays. And everybody was real mad at me. Not real mad, fake mad, but like. But did you prefer having the people side by side? Like, did you like that?
Yes, particularly because the client I was working on is a client of Penny's, and so we fitted her into my schedule because Penny was fully booked. So she's used to Penny's speed, Penny's technique, Penny everything. And I am still new to being like salon, doing lots of clients. After my training, I never really had that experience because of the year that's been. Still it's a little bit of a sigh of relief of less pressure for me to do all of the things. I can just focus on what I'm best at.
That's so
and
good.
Making sure that the service is really as best quality as I can
That's
provide.
probably a good tip for newbies, actually, to like encourage people to bring a friend, even if you're not working side by side with another nail tech, but it means that you can have them talking to each other while you concentrate. That'd actually be quite good. I don't love doing bridal parties, as we know, because I find it really overwhelming to have like 4 or 5 people talking to each other.
Very excited.
But 2, I can see the benefit. Before we tell another story, I really want to try our tea.
Yes, me too.
So Steph and
I'll tell you about it.
Steph and I are doing a advent calendar. We got the same advent calendar as each other, and it's tea. And we've missed a couple of days because I was away, and so, but we're really trying to make sure that we stop and drink our tea together as like a thing with each other each day. So what are we drinking today?
Today's tea is called 3 Ginger. It's a warming swirl of ginger, galangal, and golden turmeric.
It smells real good.
I hope I said that right.
Yeah, that's the one I said to you earlier. Like, I don't know, it's 3 things.
And I hadn't pre-read that either, so I was. This just happened.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, we'll go silent while we try it.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I like that one too.
It's soft.
Yeah.
Is that even a thing? Can tea be soft?
It's subtle. The flavors are kind of at the back. There's like a warm, gingery kind of like
nice.
Ground ginger kind of flavor rather than fresh ginger. Like it's almost gingerbready without the cinnamon.
And sometimes ginger tea can be really hot, like spicy.
Yeah.
And this is just, it's just really nice.
It's just warming, not spicy at all.
Bailey said, is that the T2 advent calendar, but it is not.
No, it's called, I don't know if you guys can see it, it's called Puka. We got it from an online store. Thanks, Jess. Jenny did them for me a couple of weeks ago, and you can actually watch the video on YouTube. We've got it uploaded, the live that we did.
Jess just said she loves Steph's nails. If you're listening to this.
Sorry, guys.
But you can see what she's talking about. Like Steph just said, did we live stream them?
Yeah.
There's a live stream. So anyways, we're drinking tea. And I wanted to share a story. It's just a little quick story. But so I had one of my regulars in for nails the other day. And she brought in a picture of like a 3-color ombre going from, what was it, from
pink to blue, and there was a purple in the middle.
Yeah, like pink to like a teal blue. So not quite a straightforward cross.
Yeah.
And so, okay, when I do an ombre, I use pigment. Love that. Have no issues with pigment. Had the perfect colors to do this ombre. But when I do an ombre with pigment, say for example, it's going from pink to blue, and we're going to have that purple in the middle. And that purple will often make itself. That's not too much of a consideration. I can add a purple in if I need to. But whatever color, I need a gel color to push the pigment into. And whatever color is going to be near the free edge is usually what I use the base as. So for example, if I'm having blue near the cuticle and pink at the free edge, the gel underneath will be pink. So that if there are any chips or issues, it's far less noticeable. But because this pink was really bright and this blue was really teal, no matter what I did, I thought that if I had a really pink base, the blue would be affected and vice versa. And often that's not so much an issue because you can use really light versions of the color as the base and whatever. I made the decision to paint. So I painted like a pink base and then I painted blue over the top half, thinking that my pigment would have good enough coverage to blend it. It didn't. So I just wanted to share this because when we are teaching, like I do not think that I'm hot shit and so perfect, whatever. But when we're teaching, we often get a lot of newbies who are frustrated because we are demoing something we have demoed 30,000 times, probably without exaggeration. In some cases of mentors that have been doing it for ages. And then they get frustrated that what they are trying to do, it's not replicating. Like, did you have that when you were learning, Steph? Or now you're just a pro?
No, I just can't think of anything on the spot, but definitely.
I had a student yell at me once about it, and I'm not telling the story in any whingy, upset way because I feel her. Like, it's so frustrating if you're trying really hard and it's just not working. But she literally yelled at me, like yelled to 9 people. And she was like, wow, how the F am I supposed to do that when you make it look so easy? Like, how am I supposed to do that? And I turned to her and like trying to be as polite as possible because she's not saying that out of being a dickhead. She's saying that because she's frustrated and upset and like had this idea of what she would be able to do that's not working out. And I kind of just said to her like, well, if I was shit at this, you would want a refund. Like, you're here because I'm good at it. So like, give me a second and I'll help you. But I just understand the frustration. And I've had plenty of times when I'm trying to do something and it's just not working. So I wanted to share the story of what happened with Delilah's nails because I had the pink and the blue gel base and they were just too bright for what I was trying to do. In hindsight, I would have sucked it up and done a light pink base that, too bad if it chipped. It would have been not great, but I just have to work hard to make sure it doesn't chip, which I do anyway, but you know, like, it just, that can't be an option. So anyways, I had that base and then I did my pigment blend, but it didn't cover the line But what we ended up doing is, so I will just communicate with the client and be like, well, shit. Delilah's real cool and real chill. She is a beauty therapist herself, so she kind of gets it to a degree. But had she been really upset by it, like if it was just not what she wanted, I would either, if I had time, redo it. Too bad. If I don't have time, apologize profusely, leave it for free and redo her nails at another day, probably also for free, because like I just want to keep her happy and it's not her fault and it's an inconvenience to have to come back, etc., etc.
True.
But those things are also fairly regularly avoidable, because what I did with Delilah was just come up with another solution. So she wasn't dead set on this. It wasn't to match an outfit. It wasn't like for a wedding or something like that. And so we used glitter over the entire ombre to sort of disguise the mistake while also just embracing the fact that it looked cool.
Yeah.
It did actually look cool. It just
looked really nice.
It didn't look like the picture.
No.
But yeah, I just wanted to share that story because I want the newbies that are listening to understand that we all suck sometimes. Like you're making decisions on the fly.
Yeah.
And you're using products that you might know well, but you don't know them in every single scenario that's possible.
Yeah. And being able to kind of, think on the fly as well. It's good to be able to problem solve when things don't quite go to plan as well as when they do. So
yeah. And there's so many options. Like it's just not worth panicking because yes, I could have had to take it off and do it again, but I would have learned from it. And yes, 14 years in, I'm still learning from it. Like it's not the end of the world. And it would have sucked if she had to come back for it, and there's a chance she would have been mad about it. But also, that chance that she would be mad about it is pretty low, because like most people understand you did your best, and like I will also communicate with people as I'm going, and I was fairly confident that what I was doing would work with Delilah, but I will often say to clients, I have no idea if this is going to work. This is what I can do, and this is what I think has the best chance of working, but I can't guarantee it. Are you still willing for me to try? And then most people will say yes, and then some people will say like, oh, well, I've got this backup plan, and then we do something else instead. And then I can try it on a tip or something later and whatever. But yeah, so feel free to tell us your similar experiences in the comments of wherever you are listening to this, because I know that you have all left up. Like I do it regularly. This is just the one story I had this week. I'll have another one next week. I can tell you, I can always have another one for you. But so with those couple of stories out of the way, before we wrap up, I just want to take a minute to remind you about our marketing course, because as I said before, as we move into the new traffic light system in New Zealand and also into the new year, now is the perfect time to get your head down and really smash your business goals. Our Salon Success Business and Marketing course, which you have had a taster of this evening, is the perfect tool to guide you through reaching those goals with over 100 bite-sized lessons. That bite-sized part is quite important to me because I'm busy, you're busy, we're all busy, and I want to be able to still do things without having to commit hours at a time. But so there are over 100 bite-sized lessons, each with a task that directs you exactly how to execute the skills you're learning as you go, because we are well aware that the amount of info in the course could be super overwhelming. And so the course is designed to guide you step by step towards being fully booked. You can check that out at monaco.ac.nz/course/marketing. And with that done and dusted, before you disappear for the evening, like our page or follow the podcast so that you don't miss the next episode. We will be back just after 4 o'clock next Monday. But until then, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube by searching Monaco Nail Academy, or follow our salon, which is at HardLacquerNZ. Until then, have a great week, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.